Welcome back to the Project Nomad. I'm Robert, and today we are actually lifting up the front end of the 4runner and adding some Freedom-Offroad upper control arms to the suspension. We just got done installing these lights for Supre, and we are basically going to be heading to the suspension portion now of actually getting the stuff installed. So with everything I've mentioned, we do need to actually lift up the front end now because one, we need to fix the alignment of the 4runner in the front, and if we're going to do that, we might as well lift everything up and make sure everything is going to be adjusted once and be done once. And that's why we have the upper control arms over there. And to actually lift this up, we already have the suspension in there, and we just haven't actually put them up to the highest level possible. We have Bilstien 6112s underneath, and I'll show you once I remove the tire, but I'll show you them then. And they are at the lowest setting because we wanted this thing at stock height, and now that the rear is all the way up to a 3.5 or 4-inch lift, it is now appropriate for us to actually fix the front now. So let me get started, actually jack up the vehicle and get started on the driver's side. I got the wheel removed, I have everything on jack stands, and I have a supporting jack underneath just in case. So this is what our stock setup looks like, or mostly stock setup looks like. We have a Bilstein 6112 right there. It is a larger diameter than the 5100. We have the stock upper control arm still involved, and we have extended brake lines just for extra droop. We still have the stock sway bar links right here, so I'm going to be changing that out if I can, if I have enough time. But what's the main objective right now is to remove the upper control arm and then deal with the shock. Because it is on the lowest setting, we are going to move it all the way up and then get us as much lift as possible for this vehicle. And that's pretty much all we're gonna try and do today, and hopefully we can get it buttoned up in the next few hours. So what that means is I'm gonna be removing as much of the wiring or the ABS wiring as possible. So that's this bolt, and this bolt, if I'm correct, down here. And that should be majority of all the stuff that I need to remove. And then I'm gonna get into the engine bay because this is the driver's side and figure out how to remove the bolt from the upper control arm. I got the ball joint off of the spindle. I did it the wrong way though. I was hoping I wasn't doing it this way. So I got a ball joint press tool. It's too small to actually go around the ball joint and actually press it out. So I had to do it the way that I was hoping I wouldn't have to do it. As you can see, I took an angle grinder and actually cut off the joint portion and then just used the press to actually press it out. So it's out. I wish I didn't have to do it this way because it could have been used at some other point. Now I'm gonna get inside the engine bay and actually pull this entire thing out because, well, Timmy the tool man says that you can actually remove the upper control arm bolt by removing everything here. I've seen that you can actually just remove the wire harness that's right there and slide the bolt out, and you don't have to remove the battery, the tray, or anything else to get access there. So that's what I'm going to do right now. It is a 10mm bolt that I basically removed, and you can see the mount that I just took off. It's right there, and now I can actually push the bolt out freely enough so that I can just slide the next set of arms in, and I'm already trying to do that now. It's a 19mm socket. I'm using to break it open right now, and I'll come back once it's finally off. I got the upper control arm out. All I did was really just wiggle the bolt wherever it fell, in and out until I can actually get this thing out. And I'm just gonna go clean this bolt up because it is a bit rusty, and I want to make sure this thing is in better condition so that I don't have to worry about this thing for the next foreseeable future. But yeah, that bolts out with the washers and the nut. All I'm gonna do now is get the other control arm installed. That's over there. And then work on the coilover right here. Because all I need to do is compress this, and then from there I can install or move the, I don't know what you call it, the setting all the way up to the upper portion, and then call it a day on this side. And then I'm just gonna finish the other side before it gets dark, because I got a few more hours and hopefully I can get this thing done before I actually have to use some lights. All right, hopefully I can do this without actually needing some help, but here is the control arm. If you can see that. Also, these things are also denoted left or right. They have a little letter right there telling you if it's left or right. And hopefully this is an easy install as well. All right. The upper control arm is in now. It actually drips a little bit further than what the stock one was. I'm holding up on reinstalling everything because I think it is a better idea to get the coilover out and actually get everything pressed in so that I have a little bit more room to work with. So I'm just gonna remove the three top bolts and the bomb bolt right here. Cool. That was easy. Woo! I've had a series of unfortunate accidents happen. I have unaccidentally unscrewed the valve or the stem of the Bilstien 6112s in the process of trying to get this thing readjusted, but it is what it is, I guess, at this moment. Whatever Bilstein says, you can actually get these things rebuilt. You just need to actually go to a knowledgeable shock rebuilder. So I'm going to be going to one of them at some point tomorrow to actually get this thing rebuilt. But while that is going to be an issue, I'm just going to basically button up the driver's side and then move on to the passenger side so that I can actually get some more work done and hopefully have this side be a little bit more gentle on me. But yeah, I'm just gonna this has razzled me so badly right now. I'm just gonna get everything else done and put it together now. This upper control arm is basically installed. I just have to torque everything down to spec. The actual ball joint is set to go, but the only thing I need to do is the actual control arm long bolt in the back there. Other than that, I am going to be hooking up all the stuff that I removed earlier to get everything into place, and from there I am going to work on the other side, but it's really easy to actually install. Minus my situation with the coilover, this should be an easy install overall. I should just be able to finish this up tonight and tomorrow get the coilovers figured out. So it's the next day, and it took me the better part of this day to actually get the coilovers fixed and remounted. I went to a shop that actually repressurized everything, and I went somewhere else to get the springs mounted because none of us had spring compressors that were big enough for these 600-pound springs that come with the Bilstien 6112s. But aside from that, last night I managed to get everything pretty much buttoned up down here. Everything is in place. I just need to shove the coilovers back in. And it's the same on the other side. Like I said, the other side is also pretty much set to go. I just need to shove the coilovers in. And I'm hoping we mounted the top hats correctly for the coilovers. If not, I'm just gonna get a large screwdriver at the bottom and then twist it so that it can align. So I'm just gonna do that and then probably install the new sway bars or sway bar links for the front here. I'm just gonna set up the camera and get started on the driver's side. I lied, I'm actually gonna continue here on the passenger side because it's right here and most of my tools are set up here already. One rebuilt coilover. Start a few of the threads up here. So I got the bottom end turned so that it's actually in line with the slot, but I do need to drop the lower control arm ever so slightly to get it in. And with everything here, the only way that I'm going to be able to drop it is if I untie this thing, which is the sway bar link. I do believe it is a 14, so I think I can just turn it. Cool. Now I'm hoping this thing doesn't just immediately drop. It's right there. All I need to do is get it lined up, and I think I'm going to do it the way that it was previously. Bolt coming from behind so I can actually get to the nut on the exposed side. I'll just see if I can squeeze it in here. Huh. It's in? It's in? Alright, you need some encouragement. Okay, and nut. Alright, I have everything now buttoned up on this side. The coilovers installed, everything's tightened up on top. The bottom's also tightened up. Control arms in. And the new sway bar extended link is right here. So here's a good shot for everything here. Everything's installed there. So at this moment, I'm just gonna get to the other side and install everything. And this literally took me less than 10 minutes to actually get done. Okay, now I managed to get it aligned more or less. You need to adjust up and down, but it's getting in there. But I had to drop the upper control arm, or I had to release the upper control arm from the spindle because I didn't have enough droop where it was going. So I just had to get it dismantled really quick just so that I can get it freed. There is some tension on some of the components, so I'm gonna try and hurry this up. But yeah, that's how I got this shock who wasn't actually working with me in, and now I'm just gonna insert the bolts and get it in. Well, I got everything installed now. On the driver's side, everything is buttoned up and torqued down to spec, including the new extended sway bar link right there. And you can see that this is the shock that blew up yesterday. You can see the repair that's been done, but if you actually know someone who can actually do a repair like that, you're in good hands. And I'm hoping that the Schrader valve clears the CV boot right there. And I'm pretty sure it does. I need to check lock to lock, but even on full drip, I don't think it's gonna interfere with it because this is full drip at this moment. And I'll bring you over to the passenger side. Same thing over here. Everything's locked down and torqued down to spec, and I am basically ready to bolt on the wheels again. All that's left for me to do is really just button everything up, as in put on the wheels and get everything set, and take this out for a test drive for a bit and see how the new suspension works. But showcasing the actual suspension work on trail and off-roading is going to be set for a different video. So if you guys would like to see that, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, be safe and tread lightly.